Alright, welcome to part 7. We're going to put all this on the passenger side. We're going to put all that back together. One thing I want to do before I put the thermostat housing back on, which is right there, sits right there. I want to put that new coolant line in for the heater hose. It sits right there. Let me see you guys. Can you guys even see it from here? Let me zoom the camera in. It's right there. That's where the heater hose goes into. Let me show you that heater hose real quick. Picked it up from Gates. Gates part number is 19177. For those of you who cannot read. Okay, cleaned up the thermostat housing as well as I could. That's where the thermostat sits. It actually sits like this. Yeah, it's actually going to sit like that. So this part right here is going to get pushed onto here. I'm going to replace that O-ring right there. Have my two, I believe these are 12mm bolts that hold it on, so take those out. When I install the thermostat housing onto this new O-ring, get yourself some, some grease, WD-40, something to help it slide in. You don't want it to roll over, have that seal pop off when you're doing it. So the intake is all taken care of. It's all put on. Used a 12mm ratcheting wrench set from Harbor Freight to get that thing on. Let me pull this old O-ring off. There we go. Doesn't look too bad. I actually put up the part number for the new O-ring. I bought it from Honda, but they gave me it in a baggie that says Worth on it. So I don't have the part number. Okay, got the new seal. Gonna slide that on. Make sure it doesn't rip or anything funky like that. Okay, we're good. So it sits like that, the thermostat housing. And on the back side, you have an O-ring there as well. And that O-ring I do have, and the Honda dealership did keep it in the original packaging. 91312-P0A-000 is what you need. Get my little Harbor Freight pick tool. Get that out. Bring in the new one. Has these little divots that it actually sits into. So just push that into place. Now get some grease. Put it on the O-ring and on the inside of the housing right there to let it slide in a little bit better. You don't want to glob it on. You just want to coat it just a little bit so everything slides in real nice like. Sorry if my hand's in the way. Okay. Same thing on the inside right here. Okay, make sure my O-ring's in place. Okay, got that. Need to line up for the bolts. Might need to move this up and down a little bit just depending on where the bolts line up. Okay, got one of them started. And I'll do the other side. On the back side, you can't really see it. It's more of a feel kind of thing. On the video, you won't be able to see it. So I'll bring you back as soon as I have everything buttoned up. But you just might need to move the thermostat housing a little bit to get the two bolts to line up. Made a lot of progress since the last time I've got you in here. Got all the connectors here done. Thermostat, coolant temperature sensor. Got all those back there. Got the radiator hose in. Got that heater hose right there back in. Got the distributor back in. I actually changed out the O-ring that goes between the distributor and the head. Got the connector in. Got the coolant line that goes to the thermostat housing back in, which is right there. Now I'm doing the timing belt. Got the timing belt all set up. I still got to do the bouncer shaft belt, but the timing belt is in place. I've checked the marks multiple times, so everything seems to be good to go. One thing I did want to share with you, and what you should do is, let's see, can we see it from here? Yes, we can see it from here. Okay, so on the crankshaft way down there, I'm going to zoom on it right now. So right there, you see that yellow mark? That's on the inner gear on the crankshaft. The reason I marked it is because once you start lining everything up and you have the outer gear on for the crankshaft, which goes around the balancer shaft belt, it's kind of hard to see if you're lined up against the mark on the block. I'll take you down there in a second and show you. So if you can, mark that spot right there so you can tell when you're lined up. You can actually see the arrow right there. I'll take you down there in a second, but it makes it a little bit easier if you guys mark that. So mark that. So right there you can see I marked it, the gear. And then right above it are tiny little arrows where it lines up to. Can you see those? No, the light is not in a good spot. So right above it, there's marks. Use that little arrow near the top of the screen. That's what you need to line the mark up on the gear with. So that's why I marked the gear and on top so you guys can see it when the belt is back in place. Sorry for this shoddy lighting, but that's what we got to do to make sure everything's lined up. All right, so I'll bring in the bouncer shaft belt, but that's easy to do. So I just wanted to share that with you guys so you guys know what to do. Anything else? No, I got to bring the valve cover. I still got to do the valve adjustment up here before I fire it up. When I put the coolant back in the engine, I'm actually going to take this upper radiator hose out, pour the coolant right down in the block this way, and then once it fills up, obviously stab the radiator hose back into the radiator. Bring in my coolant reservoir, got to bring in my battery. But I am almost there, guys. Almost there. Thanks for sticking by me while we do this together. Hopefully it's helped you out. And I'll bring you guys back when I actually fire up this vehicle. Alright guys, thanks for sticking with me. This is part 7, so if you made it this far, I really, really do appreciate it. If you have any questions on anything you've seen or anything that I've done or you need help with anything, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. I try to return all emails that I get, but you can reach me at BundysGarage@gmail.com. So like I said, if you have any questions, feel free to shoot me an email. I try to get back to everybody. But what I wanted to do is I want to fire it up at this point. Everything's ready to rock and roll. I put the coolant in. It has oil. Distributor's back in place. I don't have the alternator or the power steering pump in place, but it doesn't really matter. I don't have the exhaust in place or the muffler, so it's going to sound like a race car when it does fire up. I don't have the top timing belt cover on because I have this bolt that's stuck there, but that doesn't really matter. The valves have been adjusted. Adjusted the valve, so that's good. The valve cover is on temporarily. I just put the new valve cover gasket in place, but I need to put some form in place gasket from Toyota Seal Pack, the best sealant stuff I have found. But I want to fire it right now, so keep your fingers crossed. Like I said, if you've been following me since video 1, you saw that the camshaft actually broke, and a lot of guys told me not to waste my time fixing this engine because it probably had lower bearing damage. So we're gonna find out right now. Put you on a tripod and I'll try to fire it up. And I'm kind of nervous about this, but I'll find out. I'll find out if all this work was for nothing. Well, all that hard work paid off. It fires up. It runs. Right on, dude. Right on. Woo. That's awesome. That is definitely awesome. Well, I'll leave you there, guys. Like I said, if you have any questions about any of the stuff I've done here, please don't hesitate to reach out to me at BundysGarage@gmail.com. If you've done it this far, you don't need me to show you how to put the exhaust manifold on, or the gasket, or the alternator, or the power steering pump. Just take your time, do it right, get all the seals from Honda. When you need to use a sealant for the oil pan or the valve cover gasket, use Toyota Form in Place Seal Pack FIPG 103. All the links to all the stuff that I've used in these videos will be down below. Like I said, if you guys have watched this far, I do appreciate it. Thank you so much. If I have shown you anything, if I have helped you save money, or if I have helped you bring a car back from the dead, please subscribe to my channel. It helps me and my family out. And like always, I'll keep them rolling for you.